Have you ever wondered what the opportunities are for your music in the international marketplace? Well, if you have, then you don't want to miss this episode with music business consultant Robert Singerman, where we discuss all about the extensive international opportunities and synergies that are available to artists today, including monetizing lyric translations, as well as other copyright issues that are facing songwriters today. Stay tuned.
We're back live at Sing Summit from the SLS Hotel in West Hollywood. We managed to catch up with Robert Singerman, who is a music business consultant. Robert, thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it. The other thing about some of the new initiatives you're involved in some very interesting things. You were talking about Brazil. Tell me about what's going on with that.
Sure. Yes, thanks. I'm involved in a bunch of different things. But Brazil, I'm representing an organization called Brazil Music and Arts. My project is called Brazil Music Exchange, and it's funded by Apex, which is the trade office of Brazil. So the idea is a little bit of a music export office, but also realizing the value of trade as an exchange. It's a little bit different concept than some of the export offices who are really specifically export. So at the Brazil Music Exchange, we also assist companies that want to do business in Brazil with hooking them up the right way. For example, Eric Scheinkopf, who I believe you interviewed as well. Yes, we brought him to Brazil to meet all the Brazilian producers so that music dealers, Brazilian artists, and Brazilian labels, so that publishers could exchange mutually benefits. That's Brazil. I do a lot of different things for that organization, but it's mainly working with the members to increase their career worldwide. And my focus is North America.
So they're looking to get their music and companies known outside of Brazil and to get the music used or licensed or...
Yeah, we all know Run in Spain as well from getting images, getting images. Right. Lots of other people, Ariel Hyatt from Cyber PR, Matt McDonald from CMJ. We do this encounter sessions there.
In Bigville?
Yeah, there's a big event that I'm working with Mark. I'm also a partner in Sing Summit, by the way.
Oh, okay.
No. Mark is doing an event called the Rio Music Buzz, which I'm going to as well. I'm on the trade mission of A2IM. I'd helped A2IM set up a couple of trade missions in Seoul and Seoul. That was the first trade mission, and last year I helped introduce A2IM to ABM Live, their sister organization, which is the organization that's actually created the Rio Music Buzz in Rio.
Which is, I met her in December.
Luciana Pagor.
Yes, we interviewed her. We actually did two interviews with her. We did one in English and one in Portuguese. So, for that marketplace. So, talk to me about what the conference is going to be like in Brazil that you're putting together with Mark.
We're putting together a conference with Mark, but in the Caribbean, which she's probably told you about, Caribbean Music Summit.
Oh, in Brazil's
Luciana's
conference. Oh, okay.
We're helping. I mean, Mark's bringing over Nora Felder and Californication, Alex from PlayStation, the chief music supervisors, a few other music supervisors, and I'm kind of assisting in the trade office stuff. So the difference, the relationship between the Brazilians and the Americans, and also working with some of my other clients like LyricFind. With LyricFind, that's the company that does almost the monopoly. I'm not supposed to say that, but almost the monopoly, because we have an exclusive third-party licensing agreement with Universal Music for exhibiting lyrics legally online or on mobile platforms. So clients of ours are like Amazon, Samsung, Nokia, Microsoft Bing, all the lyric sites, Shazam, SoundCloud, Pandora, Rhapsody. What I'm doing, working on this for 10 years, is actually trying to give music subtitles, so legal lyric translations. So we're getting the rights to monetize lyric translations and to aggregate lyric translations from all the publishers for working with internationally. LyricFind is in agreement with all the major publishers and all the big worldwide independent publishers, but my job for them is getting the domestic publishers in 30 countries. So I have to do deals with Upper Amcoast, which is a done deal for Australia and New Zealand, right? CSDEM, which is a council or publishers at France, Germany, Malaysia, Singapore, all the priority countries. So if we can give music subtitles, that means that everybody can understand every song in any language, and now with the internet, we can obviously listen to any song through your phone, via the cloud, be it Spotify, be it, audio on demand services. So that's LyricFind.
Tell me about LyricFind in the sense of often you have to have songs translated and they don't translate exactly. In terms of the exact words. So how does that work in terms?
Right now, the only systems for translating lyrics are non-monetized, non-authorized, and, basically illegal. If you cut and paste a lyric document into Google Translate, it's not necessarily illegal unless you're doing it for commercial purposes.
Right.
But you're getting a bad translation.
Really? Okay, yeah. Some of the languages I hear from Google Translation are good. Some I hear are terrible.
Yeah, so it's consistent. The kids are all right. Came out as the baby goats are all right in French. And that's a lot of
That's what a kid is. And you didn't see how that could happen, right? Goats are all right.
So the idea is first we have to get the rights, and we have to build the software. And my means of doing it is more user-generated. So it's like Wikipedia. With good editors, the lyrics, if the publishers allow them to be live and lock them, the translations can get better and better and better. My joke about it is eventually the translations be better than the song. If enough people work on it, right? So that's LyricFind and legal lyric translations and call it music with subtitles. There's another thing about dubbing technology where pretty much anybody could sing in any other language without learning the language. Yeah, it's a voice morphing technology.
So you sing in English and it morphs into
No, we have a dubber sing it in a translated version that fits with the beat, and the dubber sings it in that
language.
And then the original voice, it replaces the dubber's voice with that language sound 100%.
Really? So that's interesting. So I'd be singing in Hungarian or whatever it is that it's okay.
The dubbing model for it's really for hit driven because it's kind of a vocal remix. It's a little bit expensive. You have to go to the studio. You have to get good translations. Music with subtitles, which is just metadata, that's much easier. That's a big project in terms of the rights around the world. This one is hit song driven. So Lady Gaga, who almost did it actually and didn't, she still might eventually. She can be singing in a bunch of languages. So she could have the English hit, English and Bahasa, which is the Indonesian language hit. And then she could have the Bahasa hit or whatever. And there could be artistic collaborations as well, where Gilberto Gil, who's a big Marley fan, could be singing the Portuguese version, or Yannick Noah, another big Marley fan, the French version. And they could actually come up in the choruses with their voice as well. If of course the rights are authorized. All this stuff is with the rights authorized. There's another company called Heaven 11 that I work with. This Russian guy in Estonia, represents a lot of publishing companies in Russia and CIS countries, and a lot of master labels with masters representing the master rights. This created a back end for the music industry, which is really amazing. It's a global repertoire database. If you've heard about that, sure, yeah, $30 million was spent by ASCAP, and still with this all together that it didn't happen
because it fell apart. There's problems of
a lot of problems, but a lot of it's So this guy has created it. Basically, he's created more than what the global repertoire database was, because that was only the song side. This is the master side and the release side, all integrated and all temporal. So if it's a 3-year deal, as soon as the 3-year deal is over, boom, all that information is automatically registered.
Has he got the rights? Everybody could.
He doesn't have the rights of everybody yet, but he's processing royalty statements from iTunes, from Google, from Spotify, Deezer, whatever. And he represents a lot of people in Russia, and he can collect in Russia, which is very difficult. It's mostly 99% black box, let's call it, or stuff to really. But so this is an interesting solution, which hopefully will be the standard.
Where do you feel that copyright? We've talked about a lot of things around copyright issues. Where, copyright, as we know, is in the midst of being rewritten as we speak in Washington. A lot of things are going on in the changing. Where do you think it's ultimately going to end up?
I hope and I believe that the content owners will have to be protected, as will be more and more protected, but in ways which are more fair in certain respects. The EU is putting a lot of pressure, all the bureaus in Europe, reduce inefficiencies and to maximize revenues. So we're in a new age with digital information where we can actually help things on a massive scale and pay the right people, which changes the business model for the last 150 years. And some people are dealing with paper all over the world, and the paper is not going to be scanned and integrated. So I think copyright will stay strong because it has to, because people believe in culture and people believe in the value of copyright. The value of reggae in Jamaica is a significant part of the percentage of the national GDP. Same music in Sweden, from like Smart or whatever. Sure, it's a big percentage, and music is a very valuable asset for a culture, for a people. So I'm maybe an optimist, but my belief is that copyright will be protected, and there are certain aspects of copyleft that I respect. My model on Wikipedia is copyleft meets copyright. Publishers, instead of negotiating how much a translator gets on every single song, which is why there are very little translations in the music industry, the formulas are created so the people who want to translate because they want, U2 song or whatever in their Flemish language, or those people are doing it out of their belief of the song. And that means the publishers who control the rights all of a sudden are getting much more income because they have the song in all these different languages, right? So it's copyleft meets copyright. So I do believe in, the new facility of what's happening with technology that changes copyright, but still the rights of the creators need to be protected and maximized, because the more money and more ability to communicate with lots of people the creators have, I think the better it is for everybody.
Well, that was some really insightful information from Robert, especially for you artists and songwriters who are looking to get more information on the international marketplace. So, insiders, question of the day. What really stood out to you in our conversation with Robert? Was it the opportunities and synergies that are available to artists today? Or was it the monetization of lyric translations? Or was it other copyright issues facing songwriters today? Or maybe it was something else that connected with you altogether. If you have any ideas or experiences that you'd like to share regarding this video, we'd love to hear from you and connect in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe to MUBUTV for more information on how to educate, empower, and engage your music career. You can also check out a summary of this episode and everything we talked about in the YouTube description as well. And if you like this video, we'd really love it if you hit the like button and let us know what other kinds of videos and types of content you want to see on our channel. Hit us up in the comments below. And we'll see you in the next video.